This video today is going to be about upgrading my Skimz SM163 to a Vertex Omega 180i. Now, there's a couple of reasons I can rattle off about why I needed a new skimmer, but who doesn't like to get new toys? And I needed a skimmer that pulls more air. I depend on running an outside line to keep my pH above 8.0, and I felt like the Skimz wasn't giving me enough air draw. And I saw a couple of reviews on Reef to Reef where someone actually measured the airflow of these and a couple other skimmers, and the Vertex came out on top. So that's what kind of pushed me in the direction of looking at the Vertex Omega 180i. I ended up getting the skimmer from Aqua Cave. They had it $50 cheaper than the nearest competitor. So with $50 cheaper, and you still got their aqua points that you can use on another purchase, this made my decision very easy. Here I am unboxing the skimmer. A Vertex skimmer is sort of a little bit like opening an iPhone. The way it's packaged, the way you first touch it, the way the components feel. So, opening a Vertex product is always a joy. I opened a Vertex probe holder the other day, and you get the same. Imagine I got a good feeling from opening their probe holder, so imagine the feeling I got when I opened the skimmer. The skimmer came fully assembled. I've purchased skimmers before where it basically came in a bunch of different pieces and I had to do all the assembly myself. So I really appreciate Vertex shipping the skimmer fully assembled. This skimmer is like a work of art. The care that's taken with every detail, such as the skimmer cup is screwed on and off. The pump, the bottom of the casing is milled out, so the pump sits a little lower, so you get more reaction chamber for bubbles. It almost feels like a crime to go ahead and put this in the sump where it's going to get gunked up and dirty over time, but man. Recommendation to use this skimmer is in about 8 inches of water, and the sump level in the skimmer chamber is about 10 inches, so I needed to make a little stand to raise the skimmer a little bit. Now, after looking at the video of what I'm doing, this was probably dangerous, so I do not recommend anybody do what you're seeing right now. But essentially I just cut some equal pieces of PVC pipe, drilled a hole through them, and then zip tied, them to a piece of egg crate. Again, warning, do not do what I'm doing. I'm not a very handy person, and at the time it seemed fine, but looking at the video now, what I was doing is probably dangerous, and I probably could have hurt myself pretty bad, so this is a no-no. So here's the finished product a little bit with the egg crate or light diffuser panel zip tied to the 4 pieces of PVC that I cut and drilled. It raised, after putting this in the sump, it raised the skimmer exactly 2 inches. So this worked well, it was cheap, and I already had the components handy. Skimmer fit pretty much perfectly on it, which was great because this was the only piece of egg crate that I had handy. So I'm glad everything worked out well. Here's the stand in use in the water. So after this was done, I ended up turning on the skimmer and leaving it with the foam cascading over the top for 24 hours to give the skimmer time to break in, for all the oils that were left over from manufacturing to kind of, this is basically kind of a break-in period for the skimmer. Now I did wash my skimmer in vinegar and water before I put it in the sump, which I hope lessens the break-in process, but it was still overflowing anyway. So I closed the gate valve and just let it overflow for 24 hours into the sump to give it time to break in. Here it is after I'd given it 24 hours to break in. I screwed the collection cup on and you can see it's already collecting Skimmate just 24 hours later. The Skimmate is really light colored, but I expect to, as I tune it over the next couple of weeks, to eventually start to collect their darker and, nastier Skimmate. One thing I didn't realize until I had the skimmer is that the collection cup is a lot bigger than the Skimz I was running before. Another thing I realized is that the Skimz, if I didn't clean it every week, like empty the collection cup and clean the neck and everything, the performance would drop significantly. The Vertex skimmer, the performance didn't drop off. Here, it's finally fully tuned. It's pulling dark Skimmate. It's a week, but you can see from the foam levels coming over into the cup, even though it's been running for a week and I haven't cleaned the collection cup, it's still pulling a consistent, amount of sludge, and the Skimz that I was using before wasn't doing that. So that's definitely a big plus. That goes into the checkbox area for this. Now you tune the skimmer a couple of ways. You can turn the red valve there to raise or lower the water level in the skimmer. You can also adjust the volute. I hope I said that right. I think that affects the air draw, the amount of air that the skimmer pulls in. Now, Vertex recommends that you do it, I think, a half turn when you first set it up. But since I set it up the first time, I haven't had to mess with it. So I don't see a need to really mess with it from the first time you set it up and set it in the tank. So from that one time I had to set this up, I haven't had to touch it again since. A couple other things about this skimmer. The collection cup screws on really easy, so there is little chance of me spilling Skimmate while, taking it to the bathroom to empty the skimmer cup. Also, the skimmer cup is huge. So my hands, I have big hands, my hands can fit into all the little spaces to clean them, so that'll allow me to keep it clean. And I was a little concerned going from a DC skimmer to an AC Vertex skimmer. The tank is in the living room, and I was, concerned about noise, maybe the rumbling from an AC pump, but I'm happy to say that the skimmer is silent, just as silent as the DC pump. So I'm really happy so far. Thumbs up, and I'll do another follow-up review in a couple of months to let you know how everything is going. So thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video today, or leave me some feedback in the comments. Tell me what you liked or didn't like.